So I'm on my FS01 server, which is my file server, basically where I'm going to install my FTP server. So I'm going to click on manage. Add role and features. And before you begin, you need to verify you have a strong password, IP address configuration, so all this. So FTP server is a web-based installation, web server installation which is role-based. So go for it. And here our server FS01. Click next. Under server role feature, we need to select web server, which is IIS. So add features and click next. No need to select any feature here, just click on next. And web server role, what is web server? It's going to the default installation of IIS is include installation role and all these things. So good to go. Click next. And here you can see we have multiple things here, which is web server automatically selected, which is like a base configuration for to run the web services. So I'm going to select here FTP server. So I'm going to use FTP server and FTP service. So click next. And all set. Just need to click on install button to begin the installation. So the installation is very lightweight. It's just going to take a few seconds or less than 1 minute to get the installation done for FTP server. After that we can go and basically this is installing an IIS role on our server. Then after that we can go ahead and create our FTP website and we can put the details there. So just wait for it. So now you can see the installation succeeded on our file server. So go ahead and click close button. Now you can see we have IIS role installed and which is showing on dashboard. So I'm going to open the IIS manager. So click on tools and here we have internet information services. So click on that. So now you can see if I expand the server name and sites, having only one default website, which is basically a default website in IIS. So I'm going to right click on sites and we have option here add FTP site. So I'm going to click on it. And if you see here we have a FTP site name, so I'm going to put here FTP call web, and the physical path is basically a path where the FTP server is going to store that data. So I'm going to make it in a D drive and I'm going to create one folder, call it FTP root and click OK. So this is my drive, the physical path where FTP is going to store the data. So click next. And here you can see binding IP address. So basically if you have a more than one IP address or NIC on your FTP server, you can bind all. But if you have any specific, so I'm going to use my specific NIC, which I'm going to use here. So I'm going to select that. And port number, you can modify the port number. By default FTP data port number is 28, so I'm going to use the default port number. And here you can see FTP's start FTP site automatically. So it's going to start FTP website automatically once it's like IIS gets rebooted or machine got rebooted. So this is required. And also we have a SSL certificate. If you have any SSL certificate to provide a encrypted authentication and everything, you can select that. If you don't have, you can go with the no SSL and click next. And this is the main one of the important part here, authentication and authorization informations. So to whom you are going to give the access to access this FTP server. So basically anonymous, if you are going to select, it means everyone is going to get the access for this FTP site. So I'm going to select here basic authentication and I'm going to select the authorization type. I'm going to specify specified roles or users group, So I'm going to create one group in my AD, just call it like FTP access group. So I don't have this account group yet created, so I'm going in my Active Directory server. In Active Directory, under the groups, I'm going to create one new group. Here, call it FTP-access-group, and click OK. And now I'm going to add a member of this group. So I'm going to select few users. Like I have a template user from 01 to 05, so I'm going to select all users. So basically all these users are going to get the access for my FTP server, so good to know that. And now I'm going to give them permission read and write both, so click finish. Now you can see the FTP site is created and it's here, and everything looks good. If you want to go and restart, you can anytime go and restart the FTP server. And if you want to edit binding, you can go and bind your nicks and whatever information if you want to bind. So this is how you can manage the FTP. Also, if you want, you can go and modify the edit setting, security setting, to whom you want to give the permissions or shares, everything. So this is all the information about the FTP, and now we are going to access the FTP server. So I'm on my Windows client and I'm going to download the Filezilla. So I'm going to type Filezilla. This is a FTP client. So I'm going to download this Filezilla. It's a very easy tool to work with FTP server. So I'm going to download it. So run this. So I need to install this. So I'm going to install the Filezilla client. So I'm going to install for all the users. Just click next and finish the installation. So it's done. Just click on start Filezilla now, and here you need to put the IP address of files FTP server. So I'm putting the IP address of my FTP server, which is, here you can see, 192.168.0.202, and then I'm going to put the username which having access, and the password for this account, and the port. So just click on connect. So you can see directory listing successfully. So it's connected with our server and logged in, retrieving directory. So everything looks good. So now I'm going to create one directory here called users01 data, and I'm just going to create one text file and upload in, or make it like users01, and I'm going to save this file. I want to transfer this file from here, so I'm going to open my desktop and browsing under the folder, I'm going to click on upload. So you can see the file has been transferred successfully. Now if I go here, my FTP server, you can see the folder is created and I have that text file, so it's working. And now I'm going to log in with the second user, which is user02, and port number quick connect. So I want to create a new session. So you can see here the session has been created, and now if I go here and create one user02 and type like user02. So I just want to make sure that all the groups, the users having access, which is created in groups. So I'm going to call it user02 data, and now I'm going to move that file, so upload, so it's completed. So now if I go here, I can see all the folders created and the data is there. So also you can go here on your root folder and you can download this root folder. So if you click here, you can see here the download is completed and we have both the folders here. So this is how you can configure, install and configure FTP server, and you can work with FTP client or FTP server.